Hello, and sorry it's late, but this is, I don't know, week 8 or whatever of my vlog series. Um, I've been a little sick this last week, so this is actually like 7 days old in terms of footage and stuff. Um, not really, not really a good reason why I haven't been um, as on point with these as I could be. Um, it's mostly that I'm tired. It's the weather's changing a lot here in Calgary, so I'm a little like I don't know, experiencing that seasonal depression, and yeah, it's a real thing, man. It's the days are way shorter, so you go outside, it's dark. You get home, it's dark. The next time you see the light, um, or the next time, or the time that you can get to see the light, if you're not outside, or if you don't have anything that will, naturally lend you to being, out in the world, then most likely you'll miss out on it. But I don't know. It is what it is living in this part of the world. But training has been good. Besides this week, I've been sick, so I haven't been able to do too much of it. Like I missed 2 days. I won't be able to train today, and that's a little frustrating. But I don't know, man. Like this is the first week of a new phase in training, so things are moving well, better than they have been like this time last year. Um, I post a lot of the heavier sets on TikTok, which I might not have mentioned during this recent run of vlogs, but that's why you don't see my top sets really, is because I kind of put them in the smaller clips in the vertical form and then post them on TikTok or Instagram. Um, but yeah, so TikTok has introduced this thing where you can like go back and get flashbacks essentially of like what you posted this time last year. So I've been able to compare and contrast where I wasn't training, 365 days ago, which is cool. Context is cool. Trending upwards, which is cool. I have no real complaints, man. Like, I'm just working and enjoying this chunk of time I have to myself. Um, I was debating on making like video topics so that I have a bit more to talk about outside of training, because I don't even regularly speak about training or cueing in general when I make these, but you get some clean grip power snatch. That's some fun stuff. But yeah, I typically don't spend a lot of time giving advice, providing coaching, because that's not my job. I've said before that I want these to be a bit more like reflective of my life in general, or in this time. The thing about self-reflection, though, is that you can get in a rut where you take away more than other weeks, and that's, I guess, what my brain has been like this last week. Um, I'm not very vocal about this now, I guess, but I have ADHD, pretty severe case. I mean, I don't know. Severity is, I don't know, here and there. I guess it's all subjective, but yeah, I have really bad ADHD, and I take medication for it. And this week I spent some time off, just giving the brain a break now and then, and times have been good. I feel like in general, if you think about it, like we're the same sort of being that was on Earth like a million years ago or whatever, and that being had reason to develop traits that resemble ADHD. This is like in literature now, that, or it's speculated that that's why these traits exist or whatnot. I bring that up because there is some appeal to like living a more natural, unstimulated life, and so being taking what I call like med holidays is at least important for me psychologically, to prove that like I don't need medication all the time, because in theory it could go away and stuff. But yeah, so that's that's the reason why I do it. I don't necessarily think it is something that should be replicated all the time if you yourself are diagnosed with ADHD and take medication, or if you're diagnosed with anything and you decide to not take it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I would not recommend that, but for me, it gives me a little confidence in myself, just being able to, control when and when not I take them. But yeah, see, this is a whole tangent that leads nowhere. I'm basically just talking out of my ass at this point. But when it comes to like self-reflection, I guess in general, these ruts are difficult to sort of gather a takeaway for, mostly because like being low energy, low mental energy. I feel like you sort of just default onto your most basic needs and seeking out those most basic needs. And for me, it's just like, giving myself things to do to make me happy on a day-to-day basis. Because training is something that returns me a lot of positive hormones and good feeling stuff, dopamine and whatnot. And now that I'm sick, I can't really get that, which is shitty. Other than that, though, work is good. I can't complain. I think there's still a lot of me that is in not like student mode. I shouldn't say that because I'm not in student mode, but there's a reflex that you build as a student where so you can sort of summon the will to crunch down and focus on something for a long period of time that you might not want to nor have the care to do. And it's useful when you're a student, but when you're out of school and you don't need to gather up that focus all the time, it's not very useful when your body naturally reverts to it or to that state of mind. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but what I'm trying to say is that my brain is programmed now after being in school for over a decade to crunch at this time of the year. I'm trying to pay a lot of attention to detail, whatever, in the things that I'm doing, and it's not all entirely useful. Yeah, that's just it though. I think that there's no real revelations in my mind nowadays, and that could again just be the seasonal depression. So less taking away from me, or less lessons I'm taking away now at this point. And being apart from training, it kind of makes me upset, and it shouldn't, because I think that your emotions play a huge role into how you recover. So if you have a poor attitude about recovery, then chances are you're going to have a poor recovery. But then again, you can only do so much. Your body is, for the most part, completely in charge of what it does and enables you to do. That being said, though, I'm trying to be a good sport about it, drinking water, trying to, I don't know, not get down to the dumps about not being able to train, because there's only so much you can do when you are feeling this way. And I have tried to go into the gym before, in this present state of mind and in this physical state, and those sessions have been awful. I think there are times where I've been sick and had a great session, but you're definitely rolling the dice, and there's no guarantee that helps you out for the rest of the time. These are kind of fun though, because referring back to the training now, we're experimenting with some blindfolded power snatching, just to, I don't know, give yourself a different kind of stimulus. It's kind of funny. It looks hilarious, first of all. Physically it feels fine though, which is kind of surprising. Anyways, video topics. I I've been thinking about talking about anime or video games. Right now I'm playing Spider-Man 2. It's pretty good. I think it's up there for me in terms of game of the year. But I also put a lot of time into Armored Core this year, and that was really good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we live in a very good time for video games. Like, no matter what genre you're into, there is a lot out there that will satiate your tastes. And, you can emulate basically anything. So, yeah, it's just a cool time to be a gamer. And that's sort of my other big passion besides doing this. I also write. I haven't had a lot of time to write lately. Well, plenty of time and less so like motivation. I think I've tied writing very closely to my academic career. So in the time frame that I've been sort of, unwinding from being a student, I've also deliberately taken time away from writing just so that when I come back to it, I'm a bit more, looking forward to it, a bit more inspired to do so. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I could say a lot about video games in general. I could say a lot about anime. I think that's also like a general topic that I like to explore. I think last week I did a lot more like philosophy about like, being surrounded by people that care about you. And for the most part, yeah, like doing the whole philosophy bit is cool, but I think I process a lot of that, a lot of those thoughts in training. And when I'm not training, much like this last week, it's more difficult for me to come up with something original to say or things that are interesting. So if you haven't, put it together at this point, this vlog is a whole lot of nothing. It's a whole lot of just yapping. But that's kind of what this week has been for me, just meandering. There's no competitions on my calendar, basically, until like March. That's when provincials is. There will perhaps be something in between there, just like a club comp or something. But yeah, not really prepping for anything specific. Not really, putting myself through intense physical stress from for training. But yeah, hopefully I think of something more interesting next week. Or maybe this yapping was interesting. But yeah, this is like the last thing, some low block pulls. Hopefully this was cool for you, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.